Come on in.
In there in the top 20 of my favorite bands of all time. I know I neglected W.A.S.P, but I haven't done a W.A.S.P video ever on any of my other previous videos and stuff like that. Just kind of forgot about W.A.S.P. But today I'm going to be doing a video about myself. I did ask my friend to be involved in this video because he's the biggest W.A.S.P fan, and he just didn't really want to do it. So I won't mention his name, but we'll refer to him as the devil. The devil didn't want to do it. Devil didn't want to do a W.A.S.P video. Let's get right into it. W.A.S.P is one of those kind of bands where you love or hate. I was just kind of always in the middle ground of it all, I guess, because I never really, W.A.S.P was never one of my favorite bands. Well, back in the day, I liked them, but I didn't hate them either. I always thought they were, a really cool, interesting band. They were crossed between, like, it's kind of hard to describe them. Motley Crue and LA Guns or something, or, a little bit of everything, I guess. That whole glam thing. They were glammy in ways, but yet at the same time, they were like really heavy and then had that kind of like dark kind of theme. Most of the other glam bands at the time didn't really have that dark theme, with the exception of like Motley Crue during Shout the Devil and Too Fast for Love. But anyways, W.A.S.P is one of those cool bands where you hear Blackie sing and you know it's W.A.S.P. He has that kind of raspy voice. I hate that word raspy, but that's how he sounds. And then when he screams and when he sings, he has like a wicked scream and a really cool voice, and it just fit the music. It was one of those things where it just lined up perfectly. And of course, Reedy Piper was good. He was on the first couple of albums. Steve Riley was really good. I liked Steve Riley. I like Tony Richards, but I don't know, and I didn't really hear anything specifically too insane from Tony Richards, but Steve Riley fit the band good. It was mainly Chris Holmes and Blackie Lawless that actually just, made W.A.S.P what it was. And I like Johnny Rod too, so I'm going to get into it. I'm going to give a little bit of review of some of the songs I like, and off of like each album, and not every single one. I'm going to try to make it so this video is not insanely long. But the first W.A.S.P album with Love Machine, that is definitely one of the best songs, and I Want to Be Somebody. Those songs are, of course, they had videos for them, but those songs are just like really powerful and really cool. And what a wicked debut. I think the first W.A.S.P album is really good. Last Command is definitely one of the better W.A.S.P albums. It's definitely one of my top favorite W.A.S.P albums. They had some wicked songs on there, including Wild Child. What I love about Wild Child, when I saw the video, I was like, hey, holy shit, these guys are filming outside, and they just picked a wicked location. I don't think Blackie or Chris has been ever asked about that, but instead of like filming in a studio, what a lot of bands did back then, just a little stage thing, and just they play where they just do like a lot of live footage and all that stuff, they actually filmed out, and it looks like somewhere like in Colorado or Utah, that's for sure. That's where it looks like it's filmed, and it was just definitely a wicked and perfect, awesome location for it. I love that music video, and the song is awesome, and it's just the video location itself is just wicked. It just makes the song. Another favorite song off the Last Command is Ball Crusher. That's a really cool one. I noticed right off when I first listened, the first couple of times, I guess, back in probably like 86 or so when I first heard that song. And I love the line where it says, I say EC, she says DC, the damn bitch was just too bizarre.
Stole the written drink on my JD. She went and hijacked my brand new car. I say AC, she said DC, the damn bitch is just too bizarre.
I thought that was kind of funny. A little bit of a tribute to AC/DC, I guess. He doesn't talk about AC/DC that much, but he mentions AC/DC in that one thing. I think, of course, he did that on purpose, I think. And I thought that was kind of clever and neat. But if you're with a girl and she says DC after you say AC, that's not a bad thing, I guess. Especially if she's an AC/DC fan.
Like them, I mean, you have to be a communist not to like AC/DC.
I agree 100%.
The next song, and this is the very first song I probably heard from W.A.S.P. back in 1986. I know the album's from 85, but I didn't see the videos until 1986. And it's Blind in Texas. And it's one of the other things where, you know, you see a video and you just automatically make these assumptions. I was assuming that they were from Texas. I didn't know that Blackie was from New York and that they were from California. I mean, I would have guessed California, but I was thinking Texas for some weird reason. The whole video was just wicked. It shows them in this, like, you know, late 1800s, early 1900s bar, and there's all these guys staring at them when they walk in, like, who the hell are these guys? They're a bunch of weirdos, the way they're dressed and everything. And the armadillo race thing is neat. And they cut out the whole midsection. That was one of the other interesting things. Several months later, when I got the tape and I was listening to it with a friend, there was that whole midsection there, the bar scene. And I thought that was kind of really cool and neat how they put that in there. I just thought it was awesome. So Blind in Texas to this day is still definitely one of my favorite W.A.S.P. songs. Oh, Texas. 1986 Electric Circus, Inside the Electric Circus. Now this is definitely one of the coolest albums. This is where I became a fan, and that tape I bought and I thought it was awesome. Inside the Electric Circus is just a really cool, powerful song. They did a wicked cover of I Don't Need No Doctor. That is definitely one of the best. It's one of those songs, some people will probably agree with me, where the cover is actually better than the original. Sometimes the original is better, it depends on who does it, depends on who you're a fan of. But Blackie Lawless and W.A.S.P. have done several covers to where they just nail the cover and it's just wicked, and it's just almost better than the original version, like I'm Alive. Or Easy Living, excuse me. Easy Living is another one of the wicked songs off it. That's a cover tune. And it's just by Uriah Heep. And it's just definitely wicked. So, you know. The Rock Rolls On off of Inside the Electric Circus is definitely another one of those awesome songs. The Rock Rolls On, 95 Nasty. The whole album is just like perfect. The first 4 albums were, I wouldn't say perfect, but like almost perfect. That's for sure. 1987, before they came out with the Headless Children, they came out with Live in the Raw. Now Live in the Raw, of course, the videos in the Raw is definitely better. It's more exciting to watch. Well, as a video of it shows, you know, they're a visual band, so it was just definitely more exciting. But Live in the Raw was a really a good album. You know, it talks about typical on the PMRC right there. Look, it basically summarizes it. There were a bunch of middle-aged women, Washington wives, that had a lot of money and had a lot of time on their hands, so they just wanted to go dicking around with other things. Yeah, rating the records wasn't that really a bad thing, you know. I'm saying, okay, well, you know, you don't want your 12-year-old or, you know, younger kids to be listening to Fuck Like a Beast. I guess you have to kind of agree with that, I guess. But yet at the same time, when we were teenagers, it was like, oh, who gives a shit, you know? We wanted to hear it and we liked it. So, it didn't win. I mean, putting the stickers on the album, that was it. I mean, they didn't win as far as stopping rock and roll or heavy metal or anything. It became this whole big, you know, media kind of war thing between them and stuff like that. It was a little over exaggerated, I guess. On to the next thing. 1989, The Headless Children. Some of you might have heard me say where a lot of bands have kind of deglammed and stripped down and all that stuff. Well, W.A.S.P. kind of did that too. W.A.S.P., when you watch their videos, in 1989 they got rid of like the blood and the chainsaws and all that other stuff and saw blades and everything, and kind of were like, okay, well, this is a serious record, The Headless Children is, and it's a really good one. And they just kind of went back to basics in a way. It's a really good album, I think. It's one of those albums, when it comes out, when albums came out in 88 and 89, you were like, well, it's the new album, it's okay. But it's not as good as their other stuff. And then when you wait for the other stuff to come out during the 90s, you look back on the '89 release and go, yeah, that actually album was pretty good, and it's better than their newer stuff that they're putting out. So, The Real Me, a Who cover, and I actually don't like that one. I don't really like the original version of it, and of course back then I didn't know the original version of it, but I've heard it since '89, and I thought the song was okay, but I didn't really like it. Mean Man is a wicked song. It's about Chris Holmes, or for those of you who don't know, most of you W.A.S.P fans do know, Mean Man is a really cool one. It's about Chris Holmes, and it's an awesome one. I'm going to do a whole separate video about Chris Holmes sometime within the next month or so. But anyways, that's an awesome one. It's a cool song about Chris Holmes. The ballad on there, Forever Free. Forever Free is a really cool one. What's also cool about this album features Frankie Banali. So Frankie Banali, formerly of Quiet Riot, joined W.A.S.P and was like, okay, Quiet Riot's done and over with. So he's with W.A.S.P now. Really good choice for them, because Frankie Banali was a really good drummer. The tone is slightly different on the Headless Children. That's, I guess, what makes it different. It's a good album, but it wasn't as powerful as the first three, but it still fits into their first four. The whole deal with bands with their first four albums that totally kicked ass. By 1992, the music scene had changed a lot, and W.A.S.P put out the Crimson Idol. It was going to be Black and Lost's solo album, but his management or record company was like, no, just call it W.A.S.P. And features Bob Kulick on guitar, and Rocker Doctor is two of the really good songs off it. Rocker Doctor, kind of the opposite, I Don't Need No Doctor. And then of course Chainsaw Charlie. Chainsaw Charlie is definitely one of the best songs off of the album, and it's one of the songs that would have fit right into their 80s, their whole 80s theme, I guess. You know, I guess the years passed on, they're like, well, hey, let's do a song called Rocker Doctor. I mean, Chainsaw Charlie. Alright, 1999, El Dorado. Chris Holmes is still in the band, and this is an awesome album. I think this is one of the last best albums that W.A.S.P ever did. It's definitely the best for a 1990s album. El Dorado came out in '99, and the songs on there are just awesome. You know, Cocaine Cowboys, El Dorado. I love every single song. I like every single song off of the album. Chris's sound is really cool and neat. Me and my friends, when we first heard it, kind of described it as kind of AC/DC-ish, because it sounded, you know, kind of like just like simple rock music and stuff like that. There were still your little corny intros and other weird things that Blackie did in between the songs and whatnot. And for the intros of the songs, a couple of them. But El Dorado was just a really cool album cover, and it was just a better album. I think it's way better than KFD, that's for sure. That's what I think. Babylon in 2009 was definitely the next good album that they put out, I think. It was, I don't want to say similar to El Dorado, but it had like similar album cover and stuff like that. And there were some like really cool songs out there. I liked the tone of it. And so the 2009 release, Babylon, I think Thunder Red is definitely the best, one of the best songs off the album. There's some cool stuff on there. That's all I have for today. Let me know what you think in the comments. I really like W.A.S.P. But anyways, thanks for checking out the video, and see ya.